Hello, my name is Donyetta Barnes. While working as a security assistant at NES Oceana, I've been wanting to create a website with updated information for the Visitor Control Center. With my web application, I can help military members, along with their families and contractors, access our installation. In the hopes of reducing unnecessary foot traffic and reducing the number of telephone calls, we hope to provide information that will do so. And as you can see here, this is my story that I used to develop my web application. I used the mural.co website in order to do so. And if we zoom in here, we can see the info that I provided, which is the audience that I intended my web application to reach. Here's a little bit more of the demographic for those individuals. And here are some of the behaviors and actions. And here are some of the needs and main points. And if we look down here, we can see how my pages are split up and they each have different sections and they provide a different functionality to my web application. So here's my web frame. As you can see, I have 4 pages. This is my home page. This is my visitor page, which provides a little bit more information on how individuals can access the base. And here's the contractor page with a brief message. And here's an event page where they can find out how to contact us and send information so they can throw a birthday party or some type of command sponsored event. And here we have my flow map. With this, from my home page, you should be able to go to the home page, the visitors, contractor, and event page, and always end up back to the home page. And here on the Jura software webpage, this is where my Agile team conducted our daily stand-ups. I served as a developer in my stand-up group. What I discussed was what I was working on or things that I completed, and I also discussed any problems or blockers that I had. And in this group, we also did sprint reviews, backlog grooming, sprint retrospectives, and sprint planning. And here is my project on GitHub. This is where I push my code from the terminal and we push it here so then it could be pushed onto Netlify. And here's my web page in action. I have my navigation bar here, my image, the name of the facility, and here is my MapQuest API, which is one of 3 APIs. And here you can also change it to satellite view where you can have a better image of where we are in relation to the streets on the base. And there's also a little bit of directions from the highway on the page also. And here is just a small message box where anyone could submit a message to us. And down here we have the Open Weather API. This is my favorite because I feel like visitors would be able to take advantage of this if they're coming from out of town. They're able to see what the weather is before getting here and they can plan accordingly. And from my message, I can push the information is pushed to MongoDB, and I can see what the messages are. And this is part of me connecting my front end to the back end of my web application. And my favorite part was operating the Insomnia app, because I could also see how my information was being relayed from the front end to the back end of my web application. And you can see where the weather was also input into the Insomnia app. And here I have some of my code. My favorite part was working with the CSS styling. So, like for instance, in my rule set for the HTML is my selector, and it refers to the element back on in my HTML. And here you can have different properties and also select different values, such as for the background color of my HTML. I have this color selected, which was the dark blue background for the web page that you saw earlier. And that concludes my capstone. And for the future, if I were able to keep working on it, I think I would add a little bit more visuals and more diagrams to further illustrate clearer instructions on the process of how we process the information from the visitors to us to getting them their base access. And thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to my project.